These Rugged Ridge 6-inch slim halogen fog lights are for those of you that have a 1987 and up Wrangler that are looking to add some auxiliary lighting onto your Jeep. This is going to be a complete kit that includes 2 lights and the wiring harness. That wiring harness includes a fuse and a relay, also a switch. So it is very complete, however, it's not going to be plug and play. As you can see here, you are going to have to do a little bit of splicing and or soldering in order to get everything connected up. For that reason, I am going to give this a 2 out of 3 wrenches, probably around 2 hours or so by the time you get all the wires tucked out of the way and everything mounted up. If you're not somebody who's comfortable with automotive wiring, it's okay to take this to a shop and have them do the work for you. But if you are comfortable with that, it is something you can definitely get done in your driveway. Now, when I tested out this light, it does have more of a spot pattern than it does a fog pattern. So these are going to be very good for use even if you wanted to mount them up higher on the A-pillar of your Jeep. Generally, a fog pattern is very narrow and very wide. It's designed to hit the road below where your headlights do. This again is a little bit more of a round spot pattern, not a pencil pattern, but a little bit more of a spot pattern. When you're looking at auxiliary lights, you're gonna have a couple of different options. You're gonna have your light patterns to look at, again, fog, spot, flood, different combo beams, and then you're also going to have different light sources. Halogen, an incandescent bulb, you can get something that's HID, which is a high intensity discharge, and then of course LED, which is going to be a diode. The benefits of LED is that it can be very compact, very low power draw, but also a ton of light, so a lot of different options. This here is going to be a little bit more of an old school look. This is something that you would see either stacked 4 or 5 across on the top of a YJ or a TJ, or maybe down on the bumpers. A lot of the JK owners are running something that looks a little bit more modern, like an LED. But this can be installed really on any Jeep, just depends on what sort of light output you're looking for and what sort of style you're looking for on your Jeep. If you do like this style, I think that the price that this comes in at for an all-inclusive kit, even though it does require some wiring, is pretty fair for what you're getting. So as far as the construction goes, you're gonna get a steel housing light here with a glass lens. These are going to be a halogen 100-watt light bulb. So being an incandescent bulb, being a halogen bulb, it is gonna have that little bit more of a yellow tint to it than an LED, which tends to be a little bit more of that blue-white color. But it's still going to produce a ton of light. 100 watts is a lot of light. These are gonna be very bright for you. As you can see, they have a 2-wire pigtail that comes off of them that will tie into this wiring harness with a little bit of splicing or soldering, whatever you decide to do. This does have a glass inline fuse in it instead of a more traditional, more modern fuse. It does have a relay. Again, these are not LED, so they are going to draw more power. You'll definitely want to run these through a relay instead of putting all of that current through the switch. And this does include the switch. This switch here can be mounted anywhere on the dashboard. It comes with some 3M adhesive on the back side of it, a traditional on-off button switch. And this does connect with a plug directly into the rest of the harness because of course you don't want to have to pass the entirety of that switch through a small hole in the firewall. This way you can just push the wire through, connect your switch, and make your connection underneath the dash. So for the installation, again, 2 out of 3 wrenches because of the wiring that is involved, maybe upwards of 2 hours, depending on how you decide to run all of your wiring. The easy part, and really the first part in my opinion, is going to be mounting the lights up. So find a spot for them. Either you're drilling a hole in your bumper, you're putting these on an A-pillar mount on a roof rack, maybe one of the light bars that goes over the windshield, a light hoop with light tabs on your front bumper, wherever it is, wherever you have a hole, want to drill one, or have a bracket, you can mount these. These are a traditional single post mount. Once you have the lights themselves mounted, you'll stretch out your wiring harness. You'll have to make a couple of connections at the battery. You want to mount your relay so that's not just flopping around. And then you want to take the ends of the harness out to where the lights actually are to make those connections. Again, you can use butt splices, you can use solder and heat shrink. You can do a couple of different things to get this connected. You could even build yourself a set of weather-tight quick disconnects. All depends on how involved and what sort of function you want out of your setup. Once you have these lights wired up, the next step is going to be pulling the switched leg of the wiring harness through the firewall. There are a couple different ways to get through the firewall. There's some rubber grommets, there's some foam that you can poke through, a couple different methods there. Once you get onto the interior of the Jeep into the cab, figure out where you want your switch mounted, go ahead and mount that up, and then simply plug the switch into the rest of the wiring harness, and you're done. Overall, it is a pretty simple setup, but again, some of the other options out there are going to be completely plug and play, no splicing, and no soldering. This is going to require some connections. I said before, I think this is going to be a pretty good deal for you. This setup comes in at $130, and that is going to be right around the same price as some of the competition. If you're looking at a steel housing 6-inch round light, a lot of the other ones that come with the harness are going to be right in and around that area. Now, the thing about lighting that you'll notice, especially if you've done some shopping, is that they are all over the spectrum. You can certainly find some less expensive lights than this, and you can find some that are 2, 3, 4 times as much as these are. And the more expensive ones are probably going to produce a little bit more light. They're going to produce it using a little less current. They're going to throw that light a little bit further because of the optics and the technology there. And the bargain basement lights probably aren't going to last as long. The gauge of the wiring isn't going to be as high. Maybe they don't include the switch or the relay, whatever the case may be. So I think that this is going to be a really nice mix of both. You're going to get a good light, throws light far down the trail and throws a lot of it. It does include a lot of high quality components, but it's not going to completely break the bank. So again, I think this is a pretty fair price. So if you're looking for a set of auxiliary lights for your Wrangler, I definitely recommend taking a look at this set here from Rugged Ridge, and you can find them right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.